ARMY splashy. Jimin shocked after seeing Calvin Klein's big surprise for Jungkook. That night, ARMY around the world was made a splash when shocking news came from the global fashion stage. Jungkook, who has always been known as one of the icons of Calvin Klein, suddenly got an amazing surprise that he did not even know before. But it wasn't just Jungkook who took center stage, it was Jimin's unexpected reaction as a direct witness to the incident. ARMY quickly packed social media, sharing epic moments that were vividly captured, while Jimin stood sculpting, speechless, and looked completely shocked. It all started when Calvin Klein held an exclusive event in New York. Jungkook is already scheduled to appear as a special guest star and become one of the centers of the spotlight. But no one expected that evening Calvin Klein had prepared something that had never been done before, a big surprise designed just for Jungkook, personally, unbeknownst to the idol. According to information from various reliable sources, the Calvin Klein team deliberately kept this surprise a secret, even from BTS's own management. They wanted to give a special tribute to Jungkook, who is considered to have brought tremendous influence to the brand in recent years. Instead of just being a global model, Jungkook is considered to have helped Calvin Klein shape a new image that is fresher, bolder, and classy. As Jungkook stepped onto the stage, the spotlight was focused on him, and in an instant a giant LED screen displays a series of short videos showing Jungkook's journey with Calvin Klein, from her first photo shoot to becoming an international icon. However, at the end of the video, a snippet of an image appears that has never been published before, a childhood portrait of a smiling Jungkook, followed by a personal message from the Calvin Klein team. "Thank you for being you, Jungkook. You are not just our icon. You are our family." As the screen changed, Jungkook looked surprised and smiled broadly. But what made the atmosphere even more emotional was when a large box was brought onto the stage. Jungkook initially thought it was part of a regular presentation, but it turned out to be an exclusive gift, a limited edition collection designed specifically for Jungkook, including a leather jacket with his name embroidered on the inside in handwriting, as well as important dates in his life, like BTS's debut and her first photo shoot date with Calvin Klein, right at that moment. The camera accidentally caught Jimin standing on the backstage side. He looked closely at the stage, his eyes widened, his lips slightly open, as if he couldn't believe what he was seeing. The moment immediately went viral on social media. The fans quickly made a video clip showing Jimin's reaction that was so honest, so sincere, and couldn't be hidden. A few seconds later, Jimin clapped his hands with a face that was still full of surprise. In another video, Jimin is heard whispering to one of the staff next to him, "I really didn't know this. They prepared all this for Jungkook? This is amazing." A person from the Calvin Klein staff confirmed that the surprise was indeed arranged in the strictest confidence, and only a few people know, so that the moment feels sincere and pure. After the event, Jungkook was interviewed by local media. She admitted that she really did not know about the surprise and was very touched by what Calvin Klein had prepared for her. "This is more than I ever imagined. They treated me not just as a model, but as family. I'm really grateful," Jungkook said with a smile still on his face. What made ARMY even more moved was how Jimin showed his support publicly after the event. Through Weverse, Jimin wrote, "Seeing that in person makes me proud to be your best friend. You deserve all this." The short words were immediately flooded with thousands of comments from fans who shared the feeling of happiness and warmth in their relationship. Shortly after, Jungkook replied on Weverse by writing, "Hyung, thank you for coming. I didn't know you'd be there. It makes everything feel more perfect." This small interaction was proof that Jimin's presence that night was not only a guest, but as someone who from the beginning wanted to provide support without a voice, wanted to be a witness when Jungkook received the biggest shock of his modeling career. A few days later, in a live broadcast, Jimin told more personally how he was also surprised by Calvin Klein's surprise for Jungkook. "I guess I just came to see the fashion show as usual. Apparently they prepared such a big moment for Jungkook. I'm really moved. I didn't even have time to hold back my reaction. But it feels good to be able to watch it live. said Jimin with a small laugh. Jimin also revealed that he almost cried when the video of Jungkook's childhood appeared on the screen. "I always knew she was special, but that night I felt like I was watching my sister get the gift she truly deserved." ARMY responded to this moment with great love. They made thousands of video edits and fan art, depicting Jimin's shocked but happy reaction, as well as how Jungkook looked very moved throughout the event. This moment was not only a big surprise from Calvin Klein for Jungkook, but it was also a sweet surprise for the entire ARMY, who watched how the warm relationship between the BTS members continued to be maintained. Although now they are on their own individual path, many said that the evening was not just about gifts, not just about awards, but about how friendship and long journey Jungkook received incredible recognition. And for Jimin, being a direct witness to that moment is a gift in itself. He doesn't need to stand in the middle of the stage to be part of the spotlight, because his presence on the side of the stage was enough to make Jungkook feel like he was never alone after that big surprise from Calvin Klein. The effect turned out to be much deeper and wider than imagined. An evening that was initially only expected to be one of the usual fashion events, it left an emotional imprint not only on Jungkook, but also on Jimin and the rest of the ARMY around the world. The surprise became a symbol of global appreciation for Jungkook, but on the other hand, became a real witness of how Jimin was always present by Jungkook's side, even in moments that don't seem to be about him. A few days after the event, the ARMY community on various platforms began to discuss in detail how Calvin Klein deliberately chose the most personal moment to touch Jungkook's innermost side. There are those who mentioned that Calvin Klein did years of research on Jungkook's trip with BTS, recognizing every important phase of his life. They design gifts and presentations that speak directly to Jungkook's heart. In fact, one of the representatives of Calvin Klein revealed in an exclusive interview that they had long wanted to give special appreciation to Jungkook. They say, "She's not just our model, she's our inspiration. He is the reason why we can reach a wider generation in a more sincere way." However, what made the most impression for many was how Jimin spontaneously became an important part of the evening. No plan, no script, no media setup. Jimin comes as a friend who wants to see Jungkook shine. He stood at the side of the stage with an expression of shock, awe, and pure pride. For ARMY, the moment was a portrait of true friendship that was even stronger than any sweet words they could say in public. One of the fans who was at the event location had time to reveal how clear Jimin's expression was when the surprise was revealed. He was completely frozen in place. He didn't try to cover up his surprise, and that was precisely what moved everyone. We could all see how proud and happy he really was for Jungkook. A few days later, Jimin is seen accompanying Jungkook at one of the small cafes in New York. The paparazzi had time to photograph those who were sitting at ease, laughing together as if talking about the incredible incident. In the photo, Jimin is seen holding a cell phone while showing Jungkook something, and Jungkook covers his face while laughing shyly. Some ARMY suspected Jimin was showing a compilation of videos of fans' reactions to the surprise moment that had already gone viral across social media. Their togetherness in New York did not stop there. They were also seen walking leisurely in the city park away from the crowd, as if they wanted to enjoy time as best friends without the burden of cameras. According to some fans who accidentally saw, they seemed to be talking in a serious tone, but not infrequently throwing smiles and laughter at each other. Maybe they are discussing the events on the stage, maybe they are talking about the future, or maybe they are just enjoying the togetherness that has been difficult for them to get because of each other's busy lives.